my channel. I am Meka or Meka, for those of you who do not know me. If you are new here, welcome. I think I already said that, but welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I am so happy that you joined me today because today is going to be kind of like a chill kind of video for me. I'm sitting in my room, super cozy, comfy. Speaking of cozy, comfy, so I just got these candles for Christmas because I've been saying I wanted flameless candles. And I finally got some, yay. And they're so cute and I want them on. I got the remote right here. I just want them all on in here, cute. All right. I totally forgot all about them, but yeah. Anywho, if you have not already, do not forget to subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button, please. And my goal for this next year is to reach, I mean, I don't want to lowball myself, but I'm thinking 50K, but I'm really striving for 100K. I mean, who isn't on YouTube striving for 100K at least? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that is my goal. So let's get there. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you are not following me. I'm trying to get better at being consistent and active on Instagram, and it takes a lot out of me to be active on Instagram. Oh my God, Lord knows. But I'm getting too excited. Shh. Okay. I have a goal to be more consistent on all of my social media platforms. That sounded bad. On all of my social media. How do you say that? I'm trying to be more consistent, like across the board. And I think that's it. Is that it? That's it. That's it. Okay, so today's video is going to be just a chit chat. I was thinking about doing a get ready with me chit chat style video, but I was like, And also, if you are a returning subscriber, you'll notice my background is a little different. I'm actually filming in my room today because I usually film in another room and it's so much bigger, and it's actually a guest bedroom, but I kind of stole it and put all my filming stuff in there, so that's where I film. And I just didn't feel like, and I literally, like, whatever I have in my room that I like, I drag it into that room and I film in there. But today I just did not feel like dragging anything out of this room because I just tried to like reorganize and kind of set it up to my liking. Like, it's not 100% where I want it to be, for sure. And I want to replace this because this is from Ikea. It's cheap. I just want to get rid of it. But this is what I'm using for now because I don't want to go searching right now for that. But I will. I'm trying to slowly get my decor right, you know? I'm trying. I'm trying. I just got into this stuff, even though, like, it's not like I've not had my own space to be able to do that. It's just like, I don't focus in on that, and I just don't. I think for the longest, I just didn't know where to go and where to look. But I've been trying to get, trying to get up on some things. I've been watching a little bit of, I believe it is DIY with KB, and, I'm listening, okay? I just gotta, get there. But anywho, I want to talk to you today about becoming the person that you want to be, becoming the woman that you want to be, because I am a woman, so, but if you can relate, even if you're not a woman, that's cool too. But yeah, my hair. Ugh. Okay, so yeah, so I want to come and talk to you a little bit about that, kind of give you some tips and just like some ideas, and kind of tell you about my journey. And it has been a journey, okay? Like, if I could do it all over again, I don't want to be one of those people that say that like I regret things that I've done in my past, but if I could do it differently, absolutely, I probably would. But I am appreciative of where I am right now and everything that has happened to make me who I am right now, because otherwise, would I have changed? I don't know. But I'm gonna stop rambling because that's what I love to do. And let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So I believe that in order to become the person that you want to become, you have to build healthy habits. You have to go ahead and start putting those things into play, because if you don't, then what do you expect to happen? Like, you have to want this internally. No one can want it for you. So I'm hoping that maybe this can motivate someone, because just even writing everything down, all the tips and, you know, ideas that I have for this video, I was like, this is like, I've come a long way, you know? So I want to share that with you, and hopefully it can help you kind of reevaluate, you know, your life a little, and, you know, where you're going, and just try to get on the right track. This one is one that I think a lot of people struggle with. So number one is, you know, spending time with yourself, getting to know yourself. You have to know who you are before you even change. Like, how can you change yourself if you don't know who you are and where you stand right now? You know what I'm saying? So, and spending time with yourself doesn't have to be a negative thing. For some reason, when I say this to other women that I'm around, or like, you know, my sisters or my friends or whatever, it's like it goes in one ear and out the other, because they're like, I don't need you to tell me to spend time with myself. I don't want to spend time with myself. But I think it's really important for you to have that mental reset. And that's what it is for me. When I spend time with myself, it's literally just me getting that mental reset, refreshing myself so that I can come back to people and, you know, be a better version of myself. That's a better way to put it. Definitely spend time with yourself to better identify those areas that you need to improve. If you, for example, are one of those people who like to use a lot of profanity, and, you know, other people are telling you this, but you don't really pay it much mind until you really sit with yourself and ask yourself, okay, am I using too much profanity? Is it necessary that I use it? I mean, you know, is what they are saying about me true? And not that it matters what people, I mean, to a certain degree, it does matter what people think, but, you know, you don't want to change yourself so much that you're trying to be what other people want you to be. You're trying to change yourself so that you are happy with you, you know? So I think that alone time definitely helps. I have a journal that I want to show you. I just don't feel like getting up to get it because it's buried up under things. Ugh. So I have this journal right here. I've actually shown this on my channel before, but the video I showed this journal in, I privated that video because it's a long story. But I use this
journal as my prayer journal, and also just a journal to get out all my frustrations. Like I haven't, like, yeah. And then I draw it in, and you know, just however I'm feeling is what I put in this book. So what I like to do, how I like to spend time with myself, and it's actually my favorite time of the day, is like sometimes what I'll do is in the morning, depending on how I feel when I wake up, in the morning I'll grab my coffee. I love iced coffee. And then I will come to my room, I will shut the door. Sometimes I'll light a candle depending on how I'm feeling, and I will sit down and write down my frustrations from the day before, or if something has been on my chest and it's just been bothering me, I will put it in this book so that I can just kind of get it out. And that has really helped me. And this is actually Something that I started right before I started my YouTube, back in 2019, I think, is when I started actually putting videos on my channel. But yeah, I write in this book right here, and it just helps me to decompress and just to, you know, get everything out, like I said before. And I'm one of those people, I like to keep 1,000,001 journals around. This is a backup journal. I haven't written anything in this journal yet. And then I have this journal too, but this is my ideas journal. Yeah, so I think it is really important to just understand who you are right now, really figure that part out, so that you know like what you want to change. A little story time. So before I figured out who I wanted to be and, you know, started working towards that, I actually, I was becoming kind of wild. So at one point, I was the type of girl that would go out, come back home at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then go back out that evening. I was drinking entirely too much. I was not focused, and at this time I was in school and I was not focused on school whatsoever. I mean, I could have an exam coming up and I just was not studying for it because I was so focused on where I was going out to next, you know? I was just, I don't know, I was in a really weird space, and I think I was in that space because I didn't know what I wanted in life. I didn't have any real ambitions. I didn't have any goals or dreams at that time. And all the dreams that I had before that, somehow, some way, and I just had this conversation with someone else. It's just like when I got to college, all of that just kind of, it just, I don't know, it just disappeared. I was no longer interested in the same things that I had always dreamt of doing. And there was just a lot of factors that played there. It was family that was trying to influence my decision as far as a career was concerned. It was, you know, relationships that just had a negative impact on my mental health. There was a lot of things going on with me at the time, and I just lost all interest in everything. And all I wanted to do at that time was just try to find a way to feel better. So that meant, you know, going out all the time. That meant dating the wrong people. That meant a lot of different things. And that was me at one point. So I'm so glad that I have come out of that space, because it was a really dark place. And another thing, like, so me and one of my friends, really close friend, well, my best friend, we had this conversation about how, and I was going out with her actually, and we were both saying that we were just in a really dark space, both of us were, and we didn't even realize it. I didn't realize that I was just not focused on myself enough. And then she was going through her, you know, traumas and issues at the time too, and we just kind of clicked. And I know that's such a bad thing. No, we were friends before that though, so that's not why we became friends, but we just both were there, and so we were both hanging out and doing all of the wrong things together. And instead of one of us just snapping out of it and being like, hey, what are we doing? You know, when you're in one of those spaces where you feel like you don't have that much hope, or you don't have any dreams or anything like that, and you're just kind of living day by day, it's kind of hard to check somebody else and be like, hey, what are we doing? You know, what are you doing? So yeah, that was definitely me before, but so not that girl anymore. Like, so different now. I was also young and stupid, so that could also be the reason why I was in that headspace. But you know, you live and you learn, and then you move on. So yeah. So tip number 2 is to figure out what you want out of life. Figure out who you are trying to be. Like, what are your goals? So now that you've figured out who you are right now and what areas you want to improve, figure out what your goals are with yourself and in life in general too, if that helps. If you are trying to, with my example from earlier, if you are trying to stop using so much profanity, then you can tell yourself, okay, I am going to try my best to go X amount of time without using profanity, or I'm going to try to find other words to use in place of this so that, you know, when I do get that urge, this is what I'm going to use instead, you know? And I don't know, that was just like a random example. And not that I don't use profanity, I do, but it's just I don't use it like when, I mean, I use it when it's not necessary too. I mean, I don't know, I'm not perfect, but also cutting down profanity was never really a goal for me. I mean, it was at one point, but then again, it wasn't, because it's not like I walked around talking like that all the time. So yeah, it was only when I was around my friends, really when I was around my friends. So anyway, but yeah, you definitely need to figure out what your goals are. Who are you trying to become? And really understand why you want to do this. For me, when I was going through this little phase right here where I was like, okay, I want to make these changes. Why am I making these changes? What goals am I trying to achieve? And so I'll tell you what happened after that part. Back to my little story time. After I realized that this was becoming an issue, the partying, you know, the dating, all the wrong people, etc., I decided, you know what, this is not making me happy. This isn't serving me at all. I am doing more for other people than they are doing for me. So now it's time to end all of that. So I sat down with myself and I was like, okay, what changes are you trying to make? Okay, so I started doing things that I hadn't been doing or that I wanted to do and I just hadn't done yet. So I went on a natural hair journey. That was like the first thing that I did. I was super excited. Well, no. I'll say the very first thing I did was I got a new job. I was working as a preschool teacher and I was super excited about this job because I was like, okay, this is going to make me more disciplined. This is going to make me do what I have to do for me. You know what I'm saying? And I was still in school at the time. So I ended up getting this job in the city as a preschool teacher and I was super excited. The location was perfect. It was where I wanted to be. It was the job I wanted at the time because I was an early childhood education major at the time. I did end up changing my major before I graduated. And then with that job, I ended up having to cut off some things. Like I didn't have time for the same things I had time for prior to that because I wasn't working. And it forced me into a new phase in my life. As soon as I got the call, I went for the group interview. I was called, I was told that I had the job. I almost lost my mind. I was just like thanking them, like, oh my God. Cause for some reason, it just seemed like it was so hard to get into, become a preschool teacher for me because I didn't have that much experience, but I ended up, getting the job. Lucky me, yay. Or they just really needed people and they were desperate enough to hire me. I don't know, one of the two. But yeah, so I got the job and immediately I was like, okay, and I was literally, when I got the call, I was going out with my friend then. But I knew right there and then, I was like, okay, this has to stop. Not that I can't hang out with my friends, not that I can't have a drink here and there, but the way I'm going about it can't continue. So I told myself, I'm not going out anymore. This semester coming up, I'm going to focus on nothing but school and work. That's it. And me, of course. I started going to church by myself. I found a church that I liked. I joined a church group, in an area that was close to my job. So it was like in the city. I just started trying to do things outside of my comfort zone. So that was one of them. Going on a natural hair journey was outside of my comfort zone. I was a girl who liked my hair pressed all the time, but you know, I don't know. In that moment, I was like, you know what? I want to kind of start embracing me. Another thing I started doing or stopped doing was wearing makeup. I just stopped wearing makeup, stopped wearing lashes, all of that. And not that these things mattered in the grand scheme of things. I mean, for me, I think what it was that I just wanted a change. I just really wanted to change. And I wanted to embrace myself more and really love myself more, because that was also a really big part of my problem, is that I did not love myself the way I should have been. And I was just lacking that. Like, I was confident, but I just was lacking something. Something wasn't right. And that was one of the things for me. So I ended up doing that. And yeah, I literally did everything that I said I wanted to do. I stopped dating. I completely stopped dating. That was like another like thing that hit me immediately. It was like, you need to drop all these people you're talking to. Drop them. Don't answer the phone for them anymore. I know it's like messed up. Like, don't ghost people. That's not cool. But I mean, sometimes you have to, though. Sometimes you just have to, and I understand that too. But yeah, I had to stop talking to the people I was talking to at the time, because they were not doing anything for me. And I'm not saying like financially or anything like that. I wasn't looking for that from them. But it's just that they were more worried about themselves and more focused on themselves than they were me. You know, like, they didn't care. I was just another girl to them, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And so I was like, okay, well, since I'm just another girl to you, we're done. We are not going to continue this, and I'm not going to keep letting you, you know, string me along and, you know, go about this the way you want to go about it, and I'm just supposed to sit here and tag along. Not having it. So in that moment, I decided no more dating. You need to focus on you and get yourself together. That's what I did. So yeah, I definitely think it's beneficial to go ahead and write down your goals for yourself, figure out what you're trying to achieve, and go for it. Actually do what you say you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing that you really have to work on, is really doing what you say you're going to do. Don't just say it, do it. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, which leads me into my next point. Okay, so another thing I wanted to add before I move on to my next point is that I think it's also really helpful, and this is another thing I started doing. I started making vision boards because I think for me personally, seeing it, you know, on a board every single day in front of me definitely helped me reach my goals a lot quicker. It was just really motivational for me. I wrote down everything I wanted to put on my vision board, the type of pictures I wanted to find. I found the pictures on Google, and I printed out all the stuff that I wanted on there. I set it up really pretty, you know, added glitter, all that cute stuff, and I sat it in my room, in the corner of my room. Every day when I wake up, I look over and there it is. Like I said, that definitely helped me achieve my goals a lot quicker because I was seeing it. I told myself I wanted a new car. I got a new car shortly after I started making these changes. That was like the next goal of mine. There was some other things on there that I wanted to do, and I went ahead and just started doing. Now, with the style that I have right now, ain't no vision board going nowhere in my room, okay? I will make it on my phone if I need that, you know, visual representation of my goals, but I am not putting no vision board up in my room. That's just not happening. It's already not exactly the way I want it to look right now, but I will say this, that vision board is gonna make it a heck of a lot worse. And no, you know, it's crazy. My little sister pointed this out to me. She was like, wow, everything you put on your vision board, you pretty much have achieved. And I'm like, yeah, right? But I told her, it's because I see it every single day, and it's like, what did you make that for if you're not actually going to put the work in? Make it make sense. My last tip kind of ties into this one right here. So after you have figured out your goals and what you want out of life and yourself, I think the next step is to now apply what you have learned about yourself. If you are reading any self-help books, if you are watching any videos on YouTube like this, or you're on TikTok or wherever else you can find inspiration and motivation or whatever, take those tips that people are giving you and actually apply it to your life. You know, take what actually does apply to your life and apply it. And everything else, you know, just let it go. So basically, live your life the way the ideal version of you would live her life. Also think to yourself, how does the person that I want to be, the ideal version of myself, how do they act? How do they interact with people? How do they dress? How would I dress? You know, how would I, handle certain situations? You have to think about these things because, this is going to be you in your everyday life. So you have to take your situations that you encounter and really think about how that would play out if you were this ideal version of yourself. I hope that makes sense. For me, implementing these new habits into my life was fairly easy because I wanted it that bad for myself. And that's the other thing. You have to want it. You just have to want it for yourself. You know, other people can't want it for you. You have to tell yourself, okay, these are the changes I'm going to make. This is what I want to do. And this is what I'm about to do. You got to put your plan into action. You got to put things into motion. This is who I have to live with every day. I have to live with myself every day. So if that's the case, then why not be the person I feel that's more motivated? I don't know if that makes any sense, but I try to get it out in a way that makes sense. So for tip number 4, I think that this is the most important one, and that is to get rid of anything that is going to deter you, get rid of any distractions, something that will make you go back on your word and, stay in the same headspace. We want to progress. We want to do better and be better. I think it's definitely important to cut off things that aren't serving you. If that means like I did in my little story, stop dating, cut off people that, don't really care about you. And that was the thing. I was talking to people, dating people who genuinely did not care about me. They cared more about themselves. And that was my own stupid fault. I was being a stupid little girl. And yeah, I don't mind saying that. I was making very bad decisions, and I needed to figure out why I was making those decisions. And going out all the time definitely wasn't going to work for me. Those are all my tips. Ultimately, all of this should help build confidence if you are lacking confidence, if you feel like your confidence isn't where you want it to be. And no one's confidence is 100% all the time. That's just not realistic. There are days where you just don't feel good, and it is what it is. And that doesn't mean that you're not a confident person. It's just we're human. We're humans. We have our days. So hopefully this does help with your confidence and it makes you a stronger person. I think that this journey is just supposed to help you to love yourself wholeheartedly, accept yourself while also accepting the fact that you need to change. You feel better when you're proud of who you are and you walk into every situation. This is who I am, and it is what it is. Of course, you do have to adapt to certain situations, shift or code switch. but that should never take away from who you are at your core. So I hope that these tips help someone. I am not, another thing I wanted to add is that if you need to seek therapy, if you need to talk to someone, do not rule that out. That is very important. I can't tell you the amount of women that the amount of Black women that I have talked to that went to find a therapist that they felt they could relate to, and it really helped them. I just wanted to add that in because I think that is super important. I hope I could help you. I hope the things that I said made sense. I hope my own story and journey helped you as well. I don't know. I just feel weird doing videos like this. I don't know. Come back and join me next time and let me know if you like videos like this. I will see you next time. Bye.